Hey everyone, what's up? This is Uri Peleg for Guerrilla Poker. In this video I thought I'd just do something I haven't done in a while. Just a short live play video, playing 200 zoom so we get some fast-paced hands. I will try to explain my thought process. Anyone who's watched the channel kind of knows my philosophy at lower stakes is to, kind of stay out of the way when people put tons of money in. And probably bluff a bit more than I should when I don't. I think that's generally a good simplification for low to mid stakes. So, you fold when a ton of money goes in, or if it doesn't, you bluff. The two things are kind of two sides of the same coin, if you think about it. So, no further ado, this is going to be a fairly short one, but hope we get some hands in. Really nice thing about Zoom that you get so many hands in so quickly. Here, Jack 7 suited a lot depends on the 3-bet size. I think here it's a fairly clear fold, but if he goes $15, I'm calling all day. So yeah, it's kind of always need to pay at least a little bit of attention to that. We'll get a hand at some point. Here, Ace-6 of hearts is fairly weak against the $3 bet. I would rather have any hand that is 2 overcards or any hand with a club or with a spade. So, but this is better than Ace-Deuce through Ace-5. I still think I probably end up folding. It's close. In here, I will 3-bet. This guy not being full stacked makes me think he's a recreational, and then 3-bets just tend to overperform in these kind of cases compared to what you would think, because they call a bit too much, they don't 4-bet enough, they fold a bit too much to the C-bet. Like there's a bunch of stuff going on just making this stuff overperform. But of course you have to do the bunch of stuff for this to work, but don't 3-bet and then not C-bet. I'm not sure it's very good at that point. Okay, here small blind versus cutoff. So first thing I do is judge the flop. Who's this board good for? And I think this board is actually fairly insane for small blind, because small blind 3-bets so linear. So like the weakest, we might have like Ace-9 of diamonds and stuff like that, but it's a very, very strong board for us, where we have Ace-10, Ace, like you guys get the idea. Tons of really great hands. And I think I will probably check turn with 10s. 10s has this nice, interesting property of checking back, blocking his 10s, so when I have 10s, he's more likely to have a draw or a jack. And then, assuming he'd bet a jack, now he's likely to have a draw or a small pocket pair. So I will bet something tiny. Similar here. Okay. I'm not sure what it was, obviously. Disappointed for the pot to be that small. Here, similar, King Deuce suited is one of the worst possible hands for this board, but the board is so good for my range, I think it's actually fine to bet. We get donk bet into on 5-7-8 range, but I think this hand is weak enough to just fold. Going, so this is a fold. This is almost a spot that I like to bluff, but kind of not quite. Almost. And King-9 suited here, I will go for a check and try to do some kind of, well, depending on what he does mostly. Okay. Once he checks back, we get the 5. I think I check again and hope he starts to bluff And ace-jack suited here, I like just calling because it's awkward to 3-bet and get shoved on. And yeah, here I just call. I think this is super weak, and if I raise, he'll just fold. So yeah, calling. I still think this is super weak, and if I raise, he'll just fold. But then the question is there a point in raising for value? I'm not sure there is. Like this having a 4 is specifically the hand you would think against, but he would like, it's 3 to a flush, 4 to a straight paired board, and he'd have to have that hand often enough and call a check raise with it for the check raise to be good. So I think probably better to skip that one. This feels close. I think I'll call this. Jacks here. So this, very different from the previous board, is actually a board that's not that great for me. This I think can fold sometimes. It's kind of a mixed hand. This can check raise, but yeah, this is a board that's not that great for me. I go fairly polar. And then you can actually just, jacks is a nice hand to go for a fairly big size with and just barrel big. Here it looks like we turned the nuts. Forgive me, it's a bit fast-paced with 4 tables and explaining as well. So here we check raise, we get this kind of good turn. I think I'll barrel small so I can be fairly merged, because I'm still going to have sets and 2 pairs and all sort, and maybe straights. I don't want to bet just flushes. And if I start betting too big when a flush comes in, I kind of put myself in a spot where it's also nice to check raise. Yeah, so I kind of put myself in a spot where I am betting probably just flushes. And here by the river, I think the hand is too weak to keep betting. Here looks like a 3-bet, kind of bad board. If we're talking good board, bad board, this is a bad board for me because 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s are more in his range than mine. Yeah, there we go. So I'm really sorry about how the video has to be so fast-paced. There's a lot of complexity to a lot of these decisions. Hopefully I managed to explain the... I saw your video about check raise. Nice. Yeah, anyone who's seen my videos, my video course about check raising has to suspect I'm overdoing it, and that would not be incorrect, guys. After you make a course about how to check raise, it's fairly difficult not to just really want to go for every spot you see. I think needs to fold, and this depends on the rake structure, what you do with this. I'd guess it folds here, but I would be unsure. I usually call this in higher stakes games. So here ace-jack, we 3-bet the recreational, and we start with a c-bet when we miss. Not trying to show down ace-jack high. He could, easily fold, like snap fold something like any low pocket pair there. This is probably too wide, and this is probably too wide, but there's a recreational and a small blind. I'm going just by stack size, so no disrespect intended. But that generally means you can open wider, because they play worse post-flop, but also they 3-bet less pre-flop. I'm saying kind of obvious stuff, but...
Why is pre-flop considered poker's low-hanging fruit? Because it's the easiest way to dominate and to improve your win rate. Guerrilla Poker's exclusive pre-flop charts for live and online play will tell you exactly what you need to do. So click the link, choose your stakes, and start crushing.
So this is a rake structure thing, and I'm not confident about these decisions, but I think it's a folding. And usually when I'm not confident, it's fairly borderline either way. min raise. Min raise, you get to flat a lot more than against 2.5x. So I'd guess this flats. And this definitely flats. Here I will always call this and perceive as ranges. Oh, this is $3 actually. You guys see it's $2.97, so it's not that weak. It's kind of a standard bet for a lot of guys. And here I think we can bet this or check back and fuck around. Let's bet. This is fine, and it's fine. Yeah, and this is still strong enough to call the turn bet. Yeah, I would tend to say his hand should have put in a bit more money. Here we have to call river hands too strong to fold, I think. And here, once it's checked around on the flop, I almost want to bluff 4-3 suited. It's kind of close. And now the bluffing opportunity has been sadly taken away from me. I have only a value betting opportunity left. And I guess I'll go and check raise. I don't know. Just hope someone bets 9s or 10s. You could also bet yourself, but I don't know if these hands are calling that often. Yeah, you have to be pretty tight UTG +1. Again, always the rake has an effect on ranges, so if you play higher stakes, you can probably VPIP that. But yeah, part of the secret to beating low stakes is kind of getting along with the rake. So here, when he has $30, pots 11 and he pots, you will see people bet fold, you will see them have worse than 5s, but we have to assume we're stacking off, and here I'd want a 7 or better, pretty much, to do that. This is actually a big bomb pot, 20 big blinds, and I think the GTO plays to limp my entire range, but I think if you min raise, some people probably don't notice it's a bomb pot, so I would guess that works a bit better. We can check raise this sometimes. And here again, in terms of boards, this one is okay for me. It's not the best or the worst, so probably bet this. And yeah, here we have to fold, of course. Ace-5 after check raising. Again, if you haven't watched the check raising course, definitely should, but yeah, it's time for the hand to do the check and hope maneuver. It's not strong enough to put more money in. It's gotten some protection and some value by check raising. Okay, not much left to do other than check hope. And then river, you have to think, is the hand good enough to value bet? And same here with ace-jack. Is it good enough? I mean, it has to be good enough to put some money in. And I guess kind of similar here. So I'll just do kind of funky looking bet sizes. Nice, so we get called by worse here, and we get called by worse here. And if you guys think about your win rate in terms of BB per 100, think how much extra money using those bets, because it was tough to get called by the hands I got called by with bigger bets. Not easy hands to get called by. Here, queen jack off against 3x with a caller. It's probably very in between. I'll squeeze, but maybe solid play is actually to just fold. And here, again, 3-bet, and I like the 3-bet more with the guy not being full stack. Nice, okay, another bomb pot. Smaller one this time. This is a fairly good board for me. I think I could even start betting really big. like this. And of course have to fold this king queen always to a called 4-bet. Ranges get really strong once they do that. And yeah, here ace-10 off, I bet flop really big. This isn't a bet size I have tons of experience with, so I might be messing it up. I'll actually finish after this hand. But yeah, I think the hand is good enough to still bet turn really big, and then just check back the river, so I will do that. Possibly bet turn even bigger than this, but yeah, bet this size, check back river. I'm very rarely going to have a flush here, so if he donk bets, that wouldn't be the worst play in the world, and you'd probably see me snap folding. Please don't donk bet. Yeah, I mean, the issue here is it's a bit hard for him to come up with bluffs. So, not a spot I love bluff catching. I do like the... Yeah, I mean, I just don't love this spot. And if I were to bluff catch, I'd want at least one club. So, we're just gonna make a face and fold. And who knows, did he have... He could bluff 4 or 5 of hearts. He could have not flush. He could have a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm folding for sure. Okay, so that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the short live play. There were some interesting spots. Again, everything's super fast with 4 zoom tables. So maybe next time I will try doing a few less. And yeah, see you guys in the next video.